Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the HalfGen podcast. It keeps going and going and going, and it just doesn't seem to want to stop. I'm joined again by Ross. How you doing, man?
Okay. Very tired. We've been mostly packing all week for the big move on Saturday. So,
Oh God, yeah, that's coming up.
yeah.
Jesus.
So it's mostly just been like that, being stressed enough at work to where like I have an eye twitch now, which is cool.
What?
And yeah. So all of my video games are packed. So I've literally played zero things.
That's why I did. No, I'm kidding. I haven't played a ton because I've been sick most of this week.
I was going to say you sound a little under the weather.
Yeah, so I went to that amusement park last week, and I think I was pretty much fine after that. But then TJ decided, like, hey, let's go to the casino.
Oh, yeah.
And then
As you do.
We went to the go-karts. They have a big go-kart track, underground go-kart track, and it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the number one time was Shin Malfer, and I was just like, oh, shit, I gotta go, guys. I gotta get out of here. It's a Destiny joke for anybody who doesn't get it. But yeah, fastest time was Shin Malfer, and I was like, oh, fuck. I must have gotten something from that because last like 4 or 5 days I haven't been feeling great, and then like Monday and Tuesday it hit me real hard. And pardon me. Today is better. Still not 100%, but maybe 65, 70. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was checking on Discord last night, like every half hour to see if everyone was on, and I saw you were on and streaming for a bit, and I saw you go offline. So I was like, usually, if Chris isn't streaming, I feel like something's wrong.
I went to sleep.
Yeah,
I took a nap.
I figured that's probably something that happened. Yeah.
So yeah, I was just getting exhausted. So I was like, okay, I didn't hear anything from anybody. So I was like, I don't know if anybody's going on. Next week we should really like we should commit to getting back on track with that.
Agreed. It'll be the first week in the new place.
Yeah.
Also, apparently, there isn't a hardwire connection in my game room to be able to directly hook up the internet.
You don't have a cable line in there? Or a
coax
line?
Oh. There's a coax line, but they said it wouldn't work. I don't know. I wasn't there. Allie was there. They said I would need to run like a Cat 5 line from the bedroom down through the garage and into the basement where all of the stuff, the Verizon stuff is. I don't know. So I'm going to try to hook it up when I get there to see if they were like full of whatever, because they also said you have a gig plan. You only need the 400 plan. And Allie was like, my husband like games and streams and stuff, and they're like, oh, okay.
No, the gig plan. I hate when people are like, you only need 400. Yeah, you don't need anything really, but you get a gig because when you want to use the internet, you want it to be fast.
Yeah, and if there's anything
it's all about that overhead.
If there's anything I've learned with ISPs since I've been in Boston and really paid attention since I've been out of my parents' house and have actually looked at plans. Generally, whatever the plan is, I get about half of it. So Allie was getting like 500 down when they hooked it up over there. So, and it's a gig plan. So,
yeah, I mean, it's going to be heavily congested based on the area that you're in and usage and stuff, but it should still be better than that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I can always look at it when I come visit.
yeah, it's true. You're only 45 minutes away.
I'm not far now.
Yeah,
I'm a quick call away, you know?
and you don't have to park on the street. We have a big driveway for you to park on,
Hey!
which is great.
Um,
But yeah,
the-
so that's kind of been everything for me. Instead of after being done with work and packing, instead of playing games, because I've been like too mentally drained to play games, I've started watching a new TV show.
okay.
It is a reality show.
Mm-hmm.
It is Ink Master.
Is that like a tattoo thing?
It is. It is a
Okay.
tattoo thing. Yeah, because I've started wanting to get some tattoos. I have a consultation with a tattoo artist in like a week and a half to get my first piece. Uh, so I'm getting it on a very widely accepted, not painful spot to see what my pain tolerance is for tattoos. And if it's not
Where are you
bad,
getting it?
I'm getting it like on the inside of my forearm,
Okay.
which is not super painful. Um, so if that doesn't hurt very much, I could see myself going pretty nuts.
Ross is going to come back a year from now with a whole sleeve. She's going to be
Dude.
like, yeah, this is my Halo sleeve. This is my comic book sleeve. Ross is just going to be fully tatted.
I've already been thinking about a half sleeve to start off with. So yeah, that's there's 13 seasons, and I started watching about 5 days ago, and I'm on season 7. So this has been my life. Welcome to Ross's life, where it's tattoos and packing.
I remember the last
And
time when I was moving, I watched a lot of anime. Just
yeah,
because like it was easy to do while packing.
yeah, I haven't been watching it consistently. I've been putting an episode on here and there, but I've restarted Brotherhood, uh, which has been great.
I think that's how I finally got around to watching The Devil is a Part-Timer. I
Oh
was
yeah,
packing and I was like, everybody tells me to watch this, so I'm just going to put it on while I pack, which was a mistake because it's a really good show.
yeah,
And so
and
I found myself just sitting there watching it and I was like, I got to pack. I'm moving tomorrow.
yeah, it's a trap, man. It's a
Yeah.
trap.
Can't
So,
watch good shows while you're packing.
yeah.
Got to watch like okay stuff.
Oh, see, that's why it's if I'm packing and I don't want to pay attention, just throw Jersey Shore on in the background. Just some real dumb audio to listen to while
No,
I'm
because that's
packing things.
distracting because then you feel dumb.
Oh no, but you feel smart because of how dumb they are.
I feel like they would bring you down to their dumb.
Mm, no,
Like there's an effect there. I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah. So no video games for me. In terms of packing, uh, we're not super close, but in terms of days away, I would say our move is on Saturday. Today's Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, 3 days away. So that would equal about on the official counter about 0.01 mag away from actual move day. I'm moving this by hand. It's gonna go in my car on my passenger seat. I'm gonna buckle it in.
What, mag?
Yep.
Good.
Uh,
0.01 mag.
0.01 mag.
Hold on. I just had to put that in there real
Yep.
quick.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. The coolest thing that's happened recently was today when I forgot I pre-ordered something, which is always a fun thing, and something shows up and you're like, "What the hell is that?" And it's the Persona 5 vinyl set,
Ooh.
which I'm very excited about, but I'm not going to bother opening until I get to the new place because it's one more loose thing. So yeah, that's my video game stuff for the week. That vinyl, and I still have this controller on my desk, so there's something. Hey,
Pardon me. So I have played 2 games. No, well, 3. I am hooked on Raid Shadow Legends. You know, wait. Oh, Real quick update: my headphones are back and fixed.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
Yeah,
notice.
no, they fixed them. I was actually like kind of impressed. I sent them on Tuesday last week. I got them back Saturday, I think. Friday or Saturday, and they work.
Yeah.
It's the same pair of headphones, so they just went in and fixed whatever was wrong. So far so good. There was like a 1-day adjustment period because like the other pair of headphones I use, my Philips Fidelios, are really, really nice. They're a little bass heavier, so they feel like they fill the space a little better. They kind of cover the soundstage a little more. But these are more like focused. These are really good for games because like you can hear like more focused things like footsteps better. So these are probably a little more accurate. And there was a slight adjustment, but after having them on again for a little bit, everything's fine. I think
nice.
the Fidelios are still overall a little more comfortable, but these are still really good.
Yeah, nice.
I just worry about like the headband on this one because the Fidelios have this really nice like head strap thing that adjusts. That's nice and wide. So like, I don't worry about like the gamer dent. I had that once with like my old Logitech headset. I had a gamer dent, and ever since then I've been very like particular about my headphones, trying to avoid the gamer dent. And this has the kind of band. I literally have this fully extended and just resting on like my bald spot back there, just because like it's not going to dent.
Every time you say gamer dent, I just think it's Two Faces Xbox Live handle. Just every time.
Yeah. Maybe my gamer dent.
Also, 0.01 mag is entirely incorrect. I forgot how percentages worked.
You're right.
It's 1% mag.
1% mag. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll fix that.
Yep.
Man, 2 quality titles.
Yep.
We haven't really done anything yet.
We literally haven't talked about anything except I'm sad at work and I'm moving and I'm hot right now and I have an eye twitch. And you're sick.
I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't think I showed this yet, but like a little over a week ago, I got this iPad Pro 11.
I can't believe you went with Apple after all these years.
I mean, for tablets, that's the thing. For tablets, who else are you going to go with? I really like. I've actually used this thing so much. Like when we were driving to the casino, I was playing Raid, like in the car. I was just sitting there like, okay, I can just... Having a tablet that's like 4G connected is so nice. It's something you like take for granted. Cause like, everybody kept telling me, oh, just do a hotspot. Just do a hotspot. Just, do mobile Wi-Fi on your phone. And I'm like, yeah, and just kill my phone. You're right. This thing just does a great job. I got the Magic Keyboard for it, which is super nice. I've just been playing Raid Shadow Legends. Face ID is actually like really... I've just been playing Raid Shadow Legends. That's like all I've been playing. I really like this game.
You're going to stop playing everything else and just play Raid, and that's going to be your number one game of the year.
Mobile games for me.
Oh, God.
I gotta collect my loot. Like the thing is like I have a lot of loot. Hold on. My whole clan has been like, a lot of my Destiny clan has been playing Raid. So like we're getting on every day and like we're playing Destiny. Like we've been playing a lot of Gambit in the last week, because Gambit's just been fun again for some reason. And I am 0.07 in the world. I was like top 14,000 in Gambit globally, which is go me. And so we're just playing Gambit and we're talking Raid and we're just like, okay, so I got this character to 16. We're doing this. It's like, okay, well, next one you should do is this one. And I was like, you think it's worth it doing this? And they're like, yeah, you should totally do that. And we're talking strats and stuff. And we're just like casually like playing Gambit. And I have Raid going on the side on the tablet. So I'm playing 2 games at the same time.
Perfect. Yep. Checks out.
Just trying to like level up these lower characters so I can feed them to bigger, better characters so I can rank them up. I'm going through the arena, like the PvP stuff, and I'm like, my team is actually like really good. So I'm just like kicking people's asses going up. Like I'm at like a 41,000 power, and I'm fighting people like 10,000 above me, and I'm just better. So that's been fun.
Yeah.
Like people coming at me with like a 58,000 team, they're like, "Oh, I'll kick this team's ass," and then I just see I have a defense victory, and I'm like, "Oh, they're pissed."
Yeah, it all comes down to synergies. It's the same thing with when I was really into Marvel Strike Force. It has that same type of system, and it's just like if you have like a group that works well together and gives each other like passive buffs and stuff, like, and the other side doesn't think about it, it's game over. It's absolutely game over.
Russell made a meme about upgrading to pants.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like Raid. I've already spent more money than I probably should have on Raid, and I'm trying not to spend more money. But
Good
like,
luck.
I'm enjoying the game, so it's like that's always been my thing. It's like if I enjoy the game, I don't have a problem spending money on it. And like, all my game buddies are playing it, so it's like, oh well, they're spending money sometimes and stuff. I'm trying to do as much of it as I can without spending money. Like I'm trying not to spend money on like one-time use like upgrades and stuff like that. But like some of the deals are actually like pretty good. But they added Ninja to the game as a character.
Like the streamer?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me want to play it even less than I already did. Wow.
It looks like he's going to be really good though.
Oh,
So like
sure.
it's a free unlock for everybody.
Ugh.
You just got to like log in 7 days in a row and you just get them. And so I'm going to get Ninja either today or tomorrow.
That's cool.
Otherwise I played a little more Necromunda.
Oh yeah.
We're still like really enjoying that game. I got some like really high tier loot now. Like I'm getting like yellow loot, which is like really cool. One of my first drops was like this gun I really like, the V Panther or something. And I got like a yellow drop of that. It's like my favorite gun. And I was like, yes. So I was using that and like a bolter, like the Space Marine bolter. And I got this other plasma gun that's like really nasty. And so I was like, all right, bolter, you got to go. The V Panther is taking your spot. I've been like digging deep into a lot of those upgrades. And so now I got like crazy abilities where I can just like kind of fire energy out of my hands and kill people. I can like shockwave people and like take their shields down and stuff. So I'm just like really like bouncing around, messing people up. Big dudes just show up on the screen and I'm just running backwards like, ah!
That's God. That's a GIF. That's a GIF. I know you're a meme guy, Russell, but if you want to do a GIF, that's all you.
So anyways, I started, ah!
Yeah, there it is. Thank you. Do it for the content.
Yeah. Anything for the show.
That's one of your new sub renewal milestone like things on your stream.
60 months.
Yeah, but it's just the super calm Mass Effect music in the background, but you doing that. Yep. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, I think I got to be getting like close to the end of that. I'm trying to play a bunch of other stuff. I just bought. Yeah, I was double checking. I bought Death's Door today.
I saw that
Devolver
game
from the people who made Titan Souls.
Yeah, that game I liked conceptually, but I don't like hard games, and that game was hard.
Yeah, I want to play this one because this one looks really good. I wasn't super interested in Titan Souls, but I am interested in Death's Door. So I do plan on playing that. I don't remember if I did this in time for the show last week, but I pre-ordered my Switch OLED. Did I talk about that, my SWOLED?
I think you did.
Maybe.
I could be wrong. One game I installed today, but haven't started yet, is Chris Tales.
I installed that as well on Game Pass.
Yeah, on Game Pass, because I'm just kind of jonesing for just a chill JRPG and turn-based JRPG, and I feel like that might scratch that itch. I hope for me it's like Battle Chasers Night War, which I absolutely adore. So yeah, that'll be probably one of the first games I play in the new place before because I have to map out the game room. I don't want it to be hasty because I don't want to frickin' just throw stuff up and then have to move it later. So I actually ordered my standing desk.
Nice.
Shipped way faster than I thought it would. I thought it was gonna. I thought it was gonna be here in like 2 or 3 weeks. Nope, it's here tomorrow. I ordered it day before yesterday.
Wait, are they sending it to your new place or to your current place?
New place.
Okay.
New place.
So you already have everything for that, so you can just have stuff go there now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I have to stop by there after work tomorrow to bring it inside. But I'm very excited about that. I think that's going to be kind of a game changer for me in terms of just a lot of stuff, just being able to move around while I work. And I'll record while standing up, which gives far more comedic potential for me falling over.
Yeah, I was gonna say for you falling down.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, we just won't get to see your slick gamer chair anymore.
Yeah, well, my slick gamer chair, there's not a day that goes by that I don't regret buying this.
What? Okay.
It's really not that comfortable, but I haven't wanted to buy a new chair. Yeah. So I've just.
I think if I ever went for a new one, I would spend the money on like an embody chair.
Yeah, that's my next kind of big investment for myself.
Herman Miller, that's what I was trying to think.
Yeah, Herman Miller. Yeah. That's exactly what my next one is going to be.
That Logitech chair is supposed to be really good.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
it's like $1,500.
Yeah. No thanks. But yeah, dude, I'm excited about the new place because it's where the desk is going to be set up. I don't think it's going to fit on the same wall as the entertainment center where all the consoles are. It'll be like perpendicular up against the window, so I'll have a lot of nice natural light coming in. It gives me a nice backdrop for me to like put stuff up on the wall and that sort of thing to make it kind of like fun for videos and kind of podcasts like this. So yeah, I like a lot of artwork and stuff. I need to figure out, but it'll still be close enough to where like the capture card I can take full advantage of all that and not have it be a pain. I don't think
we'll be able to start recording video stuff again.
Yes, which I'm
we
excited
have not
about.
Been doing that recently because of scheduling conflicts and Ross moving and stuff. But once he is moved, making video content should be better, easier than ever.
Yeah. You just need to figure out time to like come and record stuff in person some days. Like that would make everything so easy.
Yeah.
It would, if only the universe allowed you to now work on weekends, everything would be easy. But the universe doesn't make things easy.
Could take like one weekend day off a month.
Yeah, and just like record all day. Record 12 hours, backlog of videos.
Like, hi, Allie, I'll be back.
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
entering the dungeon.
That's how we're gonna do our freaking Let's Plays.
Yeah.
You're gonna show up like Saturday morning at 8 a.m. and we're gonna record until 10 p.m. that night. And then we're gonna have videos for like the next like week or two.
Oh my god.
Rinse and repeat.
Oh shit.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's
something else.
It's something. Life is weird, man. I don't know. It's
strange.
Nope. No, it's not. It's just weird. You can't see this if you're just listening, but doing shoulder thing because it's weird. I don't know what's happening. He is
doing a shoulder thing.
I'm hot.
And modest.
That's going on my gravestone. Hot and modest. That's how I want people to remember me, but
he was as modest as he was hot. Which is to say, very. So Ross, before we get into anything else, we talked about talking about it last week, and we didn't.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I had some ideas.
Oh, okay. Well, you're all learning this as anyone who's here live is learning this at the same time as I am.
Yeah, so I had some ideas. Okay,
be prepared for conflict.
I don't think there will be conflict.
Conflict.
Oh shit! He just got right up in the camera.
Conflict.
He just owned it.
No, what's up, man? What are your ideas?
All right.
Hit me
So
while my
let's
eye twitches. It's so annoying. Ugh.
so excuse me.
This is a great podcast
Yeah, it's
between
wonderful.
me being out of it and you dying.
I'm not dying. I'm okay. So Ross and I have been discussing. It was something I brought up. Uh, so we have a website, and it's crazy because we don't do anything with it because it turns out that we don't like writing as much as we used to.
I like the
Um,
idea of writing a lot.
yeah,
Just sitting down and thinking of something to write about hasn't hit me in a long time.
I can't tell you how many like things I've started
Mm,
like or finished that I just haven't had any desire to actually post.
yeah.
Like, so what Ross and I have been thinking is at the end of this year, retiring the website, halfgen.com, but continuing with the podcast and continuing with like video content. Because the podcast is where I think we usually have the most fun. You know, it's more direct interaction, which is really nice. So, for me, that's something I want to keep doing is the podcast because I like getting together every week and talking about games. Um, and what I was thinking, Ross, is just because we don't have a website doesn't mean we need to get rid of those ideas. We could
Sure.
just have segments on the show. Did you ever play? Let's talk about things like that, and we could just make that like a segment on the show, and just be like, "Hey, this week I want to talk about this thing." And then it's like, okay, cool. So we dedicate like a chunk of the show to that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Or, yeah, even another thing, we could even turn some of these into like beyond just segments into like potential video series.
Yeah, and we
Like,
could turn these into shows on the
yeah.
feed, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not going to be something that's like there's a post every day, but maybe, if we have the time to record it, maybe it becomes like, hey, you get an extra podcast every week for something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And that's something I've thought about for a while. And once I finally get settled in the new place and kind of get everything up and running the way I want, like I do want to start to do some basic video editing because I could see me like I haven't had the urge to write for the site, but I could see myself like getting into writing a script for a video where it's like, did you ever play like a, like Shadow of the Colossus? And I record a ton of footage of it, and then I read the script over it, kind of like a video essay, something like that. That's something I've wanted to do for a long time. I just
I,
haven't really had the means to do it.
I was thinking
So,
about something like that too for like a did you ever play and just like have a bunch of like footage playing in the background
mhm,
just like talking about it, kind of like almost like an old school video review where they just
yeah,
kind of have footage of the game going, and then just like have moments where it's like just listen to this dialogue and just have like Tony make it work where it's like they can hear the game and just be like this shit is garbage,
yeah, yeah. No, that's
uh,
yeah. Like old GameSpot video review is kind of what I've
yeah,
been thinking of. I've been
yeah,
thinking of wanting to do that, and I think we could do some like they're 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 low effort, but especially when we get together in person, I think it would be I think it would be fun to get a camera on us while we play games and upload
yeah,
them to the channel as well. Or like fun stream nights, like get Tony and Zane over for PlayStation All Stars and have that video go live.
yeah,
Yeah, like it's like part of me is sad that we're kind of sunsetting the website, but it makes sense.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, it's an expense that we're not taking advantage of because I think
yeah,
this year we've barely posted anything that wasn't
the
a
podcast
podcast
or a video.
or a
Yeah,
video. And like the thing is like the last written piece was, June 9th.
it's actually not as bad as I thought, to be
Well,
honest.
that was the E3 stuff.
Oh, right. Yep. Yep.
So that was like how, the Shining at E3 stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, it was like the Return of the Vault of Glass.
Yeah.
And then a let's talk about here or there, like 3 articles in May, 2 in April,
Yeah.
3. Actually, April was all right. That was like 4 or 5, maybe. No, there was 4. Okay. Yeah, like we haven't posted a ton, and most of what we have posted prior to that was like final says.
Right.
We
Right.
didn't
Which
post,
would,
I don't think, any written. No, we wrote like one thing in March that
yeah.
wasn't a final say, and
Yeah.
we were hoping that when we kind of revamped the site, when we did the things we did, that it was going to be something that was like, okay, this is going to reinvigorate, uh, you know, our desire to write. And then we just kind of realized that we like talking about it better than we do writing. And a lot of article ideas we had, we were already working on changing them to like podcast or video. Um, and honestly, I just think, as much as I was a holdout for the written word, I just don't think it makes sense for us where we're at right now
Mm-hmm.
to continue to prioritize that. And if that's something where down the line everybody's like, "Man, I wish I could read this stuff," maybe we bring the site back. It'll be a backup away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
No.
for
Yeah.
now, it is what it is.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think the problem with kind of where we're at right now is that I know, at least for me, I have such a relatively limited amount of time to play games that taking additional time out to write about them just takes away from my time actually playing them at this point.
Yeah,
Um, so like at the end of the day, it kind of hurts like the point of the site.
yeah,
So yeah, and I think this is the smart move moving forward. And again, like Chris just said, the site is a backup away. But it's like I think we have a lot of our article ideas that we had. I think will make for really cool actual video series and segments and stuff on the show. So
yeah, and not having to worry about, you know in the back of our minds, not having that lingering thought of, man, we haven't written something in a while.
mm-hmm.
It takes away that need. Like, I'm not worried when I'm playing a new game now. I'm not worried about snapping a bunch of screenshots anymore.
Right, right,
And things like that, which has been really nice. And like, to record footage, like, that's easy enough. I can go
mm-hmm.
on and just play 15 minutes and we can loop that in a video. Like, that's not hard. So, I think it seems like you're in agreement that's the direction we're gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
and yeah, so we will assess what we want to turn into like its own show, and versus like something that we think would be a good like segment on the podcast.
yeah, yeah. And I think and Chris mentioned at the beginning that we're planning on sunsetting the site at the end of the year. So it's I I really want to sit down with you and really kind of nail down a handful of like solid ideas and figure out if they're going to be segments or if they're going to be video series, and just kind of have like I think one thing
I
that we do sometimes that doesn't always work for us is that we're super passionate, but I feel like sometimes we dive in head first without necessarily a plan.
I
um,
and that's actually what I was about to say. I think what
yeah,
we need to do is trial some of these,
yeah, yeah.
and if we think it's going to work for a show, can we get 20 minutes out of it?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
that's the thing, is like, there's a place for like the 5-minute videos and stuff, but if we're going to do a deep dive into something, realistically, a deep dive isn't going to be done in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Can we get 20 minutes of quality content out of this? Can we avoid going 50 minutes deep and, kind of losing our train of thought or something,
Hmm. Yeah.
I think that's the big thing for us. And so that's just something I think we got to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and see how that works. And maybe we do a couple trials of like, hey, here's this show, we'll put it up and see how it does and things like that. um
Hmm. Yeah.
so make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Just
Yeah.
look
I
up
think.
HalfGen on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. I think entering this next phase of half gen with more of a solid foundation in terms of exactly the kind of content that we like to make, I think is super important to get off to a running start.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's the thing is like the site only goes as far as we enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to make sure that we're doing stuff we enjoy. Cause like, I like, if worse came to worse, like the video stuff, it's something that we hope grows, but that's something too that like, honestly, if it gets down to it and it's like, if the video stuff starts getting frustrating and it's like, look, I'd rather just be a podcast every week, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
cool with that. The podcast is really like my major focus for this because it's like it's easy to do and it's fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we're trying the video stuff because that's stuff that we can still have a lot of fun with, but it's just a matter of you know for me it's just like writing the stuff. It's I don't want to take time away from playing games to make stuff that either isn't up to a standard that I'm happy with or isn't kind of returning on that investment from us. And I'm not even talking like money or anything, but it's like if people aren't touching this stuff, why are we still doing it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's something we have to assess as well too, and just like figure out how committed we want to be to stuff like that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's something to definitely have a conversation about in terms of priorities, in terms of growth and that kind of thing. Like the HalfGen YouTube channel is not going to become a YouTube channel where you see thumbnails with our faces and surprise expressions. If it gets to that point, I'd quit.
Yeah, I
um,
don't want to be, and that's the thing is I don't want to be that kind of YouTube channel.
mm-hmm.
But like I want our work, and the stuff we do to speak for itself, not a thumbnail and
Yeah.
not just SOE. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like at a certain point, it's like if we gotta sell our soul for success on YouTube, I'd rather not do it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm 100% with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you said, if it comes to it, the podcast is kind of the podcast is the podcast, and it's gonna stay around. So everything else surrounding it, whether it's written work or video work or whatever it may be, it's more just kind of additive, um, as kind of another pillar where the podcast is really the foundation of everything we do. So.
Yeah, like I'm kind of at the point where, obviously, like, we'll still keep uploading the video podcast. I don't know if you've watched any of them lately, but Tony has this really, like, slick, how we used to have, like, our Twitter handles and stuff at the bottom?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He made this really slick animation of, like, this expanding box above our picture and below it, and one has our name and the other one has, like, our Twitter handle.
Huh.
It's real nice.
Nice.
Like, he's doing good work.
Nice. I've not checked that out. I will need to do
Yeah.
that.
Like I saw it on the last one because I was just watching it for a little bit and I just saw this little thing expand. I was like, "Oh, that's professional as fuck." That's some real like editing chops right there.
Good job, Tony.
I don't know if you saw too. He made like a really cool animation for like the intro music and stuff.
Yeah, I did. I have seen that. Yeah.
I like that a lot too.
Yeah.
And then he did the Anthem 2 Bois thing for me. I don't know if you caught that. I put that at the end of that episode.
You did. Good.
Yeah, I after the music ends, it's just Anthem 2 Bois with the Reaper sound. The one I sent you, I put that as like an Easter egg. So if you missed it, it's there and it's very loud. And then so he made one for the video, and he just like MS painted a 2 on it, and just like it shook.
Perfect. Perfect.
I was very proud. And then people still love the one I did for the Kiss Your Kids into Bed. And Fabian said that at the end of the episode he was on. He's like, remember everybody, kiss your kids into bed at night. But everybody loves the little one I have with like the kids playing at night and just you come on, kiss your kids into bed at night.
Perfect. This is why you come to the podcast.
I'm just getting like, I'm going to eventually make like a compilation of like shit Ross said.
Oh, good luck with that.
Just a bunch of weird sound effects and stuff.
Yeah, dude, that's your soundboard for Twitch. You want to
I'm just going to make a Ross soundboard.
That's how you become ninja, is that a Ross soundboard. I've been coaching him for years.
Yep.
uh, so that's the
Yeah,
site.
so that's the site update. If there's anything on there that you really like, maybe like screenshot it for posterity or something. I don't know. But yeah, so as the year goes on, we will probably have a final sunsetting date because I'm going to turn off auto renewal of the hosting, and I am going to back everything up. So if it's something that we want to come back to, we will be able to come back to. I'm keeping the domain though, because I'm not getting rid of that.
Yeah.
I will gladly pay to keep HalfGen forever. Excuse me. But I'm trying to decide if I wanted to. So like I was thinking like with the segment stuff, I was thinking of turning like the Chris Controversial Corner thing into a segment. And I had one I was working on, and I don't know, Ross, do you want me to do it live?
Yeah, sure. It's, I generally like just kind of talking than, most news stories, even though there are interesting news stories to be had.
So I started writing this thing and I was getting really into it. So here we go. This is Chris's Controversial Corner. So basically, this was a segment I used to have at Those Gaming Nerds where I would just have like really like hot takes. I remember one of my favorites was one of the writers at Forbes was just like Bloodborne's only for like elite gamers that like casuals can't play it. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like anybody can play Bloodborne. Like he was trying to say like it was only for people who were like entrenched in the industry could find any enjoyment out of it. And I was like, you're insane. So I've gone after Forbes. It's me. I'm your guy. If you don't like Forbes, I'll take them down. Wouldn't be the first time, wouldn't be the last. But so we all know, like it was shortly after, like, the Xbox Twitter account made that post of like everybody, messaging us, telling us PlayStation is better. Like, we're all gamers in the end, and I thought that was like a really like mature response to that. And then, a day later, like there's a post like PlayStation losing one of its top exclusives. And it was talking about like Oddworld getting rated for Xbox. And then I remember like a month before that, there was a post, Xbox losing one of its top exclusives. And it was about the Medium getting rated for PlayStation. And I realized that games journalism is the biggest problem in all of this, because they keep feeding this console war idea. The idea that they're at odds by saying, PlayStation loses major exclusive. One, it's Oddworld. No disrespect to Oddworld in the grand scheme, but it's also not, it's not God of War. If you're going to talk major exclusive, for me, Oddworld ain't that, but to each their own. Regardless, the game's not going anywhere. It's still on PlayStation. Same thing with the Medium. The Medium can be rated and announced for PlayStation all they want. It's still on Xbox. It's still on Game Pass. There's nothing stopping you from playing that game there. But they're making it sound like, Xbox is losing it, or the idea of like PlayStation loses Deathloop September 14th, 2022. Deathloop isn't going anywhere. They're not going to take it off the platform.
Yeah.
But these people are making these articles and they're making these titles of like, what's going to get the people riled up? What's going to get me a bunch of comments? What about, PlayStation exclusive goes multi-platform in 2022? No. I just think of like that Pro ZD video where he's talking about like clickbait articles. He's like, you got to tickle their balls, just like, you'll never believe. And so I just think of that. But like they're sitting there and they're like, no, that's not going to get enough. Okay. Major PlayStation exclusive is, coming to Xbox. No. That's still not enough. Okay. PlayStation loses major exclusive. It's not going anywhere. No, but they don't know that. The people, they're dumb. They don't know that. And it's just like this idea of just it's this idea that they're just taking advantage of these stupid people, because it's the people's fault for believing that, if they just go around and, post in every PlayStation thing that Xbox is better, and, all the PlayStation people are like, oh, it's the, no, the PlayStation's better on the Xbox post. It's like this stupid, like, it's the most absurd, like, gang war. And it's like every time one of them hits, the other one feels the need to hit back twice as hard. And it's this idea of like,
The
these
two-party
people,
system.
yeah, right. And it's these people that are like, who are proclaiming, like, the Xbox people who are like, oh, imagine, enjoy Deathloop, enjoy the fact that the best game on PlayStation this year is going to be a Microsoft developed game. And it's like, one, that was made before it was Microsoft. Two, it's not going to be the best game on PlayStation this year, and I'm very confident in that. And three, what does it matter? You're going to play it in a year, and it's coming to PC. And I would be surprised if it wasn't on Game Pass on PC. So it's like, again, what do you really lose? And then it's these PlayStation people being like, haha, we have your game. We have your best game this year. Haha. And then next year, it's the same people who are going to be like, psh, that game sucked anyway. You guys can have it. We don't need that shit.
Yep.
A year from now, they're just going to be like, yo, Deathloop is trash. You guys can have that trash box, whatever. And it's just like, dude, these people are so stupid. Yes. But again, it's games journalism that continues to feed this narrative that, like, oh, it's okay to hate the other side, that it's okay to drive this, like, wedge between everybody. PlayStation loses major exclusive. And it's just, what are they really losing? A more reasonable title, Oddworld Soulstorm, coming to Xbox. But that doesn't piss people off. That doesn't rile them up. That doesn't get the gamer juices flowing.
Yeah, I've never understood why people enjoy, like, anger so much. It's never appealed to me. I don't get it. And also, in the chat, what's up, Jerry? I've missed you.
Here's the craziest part, okay? I looked this up, and I just typed it in because I wanted to figure out where I saw the piece for the Medium. So I just typed into Google, Xbox loses major exclusive. And it returned the post I was looking for. And I'm going to get to that in a second. I'm going to get to that in a second when we talk more about the Switch. Of the top 3 posts, 2 of them were from the same website talking about Oddworld. It was The Rumor. It was comicbook.com, who I despise. I think they're some of the worst in gaming journalism out there. They are the worst. Like I told my Google News feed to not show me their stuff, is how bad they are, because they are just the clickbaitiest clickbait in the world, and they are just trying to rile people up. So
why do people want to get riled? I don't get it.
Because that's hits, that's traffic. They want the PlayStation people will click because they want to know what they're losing, and the Xbox people are going to click so they can be like, "Yeah, we get your game, suck my ass,"
Yeah, it's.
And then the PlayStation people got to go in there and be like, "Oddworld Soulstorm sucks. We don't want this shit on our system. Just take it off the store," Yeah,
I just don't understand, I guess.
2 of the top 3 articles are them 3 weeks apart, talking about the rumor and then talking about a confirmed rumor. And then they're going to get a third hit when it actually gets confirmed. So they're going to get 3 pieces off of this one game, all with the same basic title.
Yeah.
And the same idea. Rumor, PlayStation loses major exclusive. Sources confirm PlayStation loses major exclusive. PlayStation loses major exclusive. Confirmed, And it's just going to be like, what do you really gain from that? And it's just, it's because it's just, you're targeting the lowest common denominator of gamers.
But it makes money. That's why.
Unintelligent masses that are going to click on there just so they can comment, and then you're going to get 2 pennies in ad revenue for each one of them. But if there's 100,000 stupid people You keep the
Yeah.
lights on for
That's
another day.
exactly why they do it.
And it's just like, but there's so much of the problem. And it's like there's this toxic gamer culture. And then all these sites talk about how toxic gamer culture is. And then they still make these posts. And they still make these ambiguous, major Xbox exclusive is coming, is leaving the platform, or, just bullshit like that. They make it sound like they're taking something away just because your game isn't exclusive anymore. It's just like the entitled PlayStation people when Horizon was coming to PC, and they're like, why do I even own a PlayStation? You own a PlayStation to play the games, and you probably don't own a PC anyway. Most of you. The people who are on the PlayStation blog, I can't believe you would do this. What about the value of my system? And those are the same people who don't even probably have a PC. They probably still have a base model PS4, and they're the same people who are just like, why didn't the game run? There's a bunch of keyboard warriors who just don't understand anything. They don't understand how the world works or the business works. And they think these platform holders that if they cry enough to Phil Spencer, that Phil's going to go out there and be like, yeah, fuck PlayStation. Yeah. God of who? No. Phil Spencer doesn't give a shit about you. Sony doesn't give a shit about you. None of these corporations give a shit about you. You know what they care about? George Washington, Abe Lincoln, Hamilton, Jackson. You know why? Because they're on money.
Chris's controversial corner. Tony, if you can just edit in a rainbow and some sound effects there, that would be great. No, yeah, dude, I totally get it.
Like it's just frustrating.
It's been going on for a long time.
I know, and it's getting worse.
Yeah,
and that's why. So that's this week's little segment. I could go on forever. And then Jerry Jerry brought it up. We were going to talk about it in the news. The Steam Deck was announced this week. And what's the first thing people do? Switch OLED is going to crush the Steam Deck. Steam Deck is the Switch Pro we've been waiting for. Blah, 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 blah. Two devices that the only thing they have in common is that they're portable consoles. And everybody is immediately like, one is going to kill the other.
Yeah, I mean, like, this whole thing you're describing is like something that is kind of the base of like sociology that I got my undergrad in, where in order to make sense of things, people have to categorize things into specific categories and then compare them. That's the way people make sense of things. And then people get defensive and want to justify their own decisions by dumping on whatever's opposing them.
I can't afford a Steam Deck, so therefore it must suck. Or I got a Switch for Christmas, so the Switch is the best console because it's the one I have, And anyone who says that their console is better, it's not, because I have this one, and this is the one, that I like.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of people who feel like they never grew up.
Yeah. Yeah. And and all of this stuff used to happen.
And they really just believe, they genuinely believe that what they're doing, they're on a crusade.
Yeah.
Because they really believe that they're going to convince people. They're either convinced themselves that they're going to turn people and that they're going to start, somebody's going to read what they say and be like, I never thought of it that way. I'm going to go trade in my PlayStation and buy an Xbox. And then they're going to be like, yes. And then they're hoping that Phil Spencer's going to call them up. Hi, XX Gamer Smokes Weed XXX. I'm really proud of the work you've been doing for Xbox. I'm not trying to imply anything about Xbox people. It goes both ways. It's just Phil Spencer's easier to talk about than PlayStation. Phil Spencer sounds like somebody who's going to get on a phone. I'm Phil Spencer from Xbox. I really appreciate what you're doing on Twitter, really shutting down those sheeple for the PlayStation. How would you like to come work for me? Take over the Xbox divisional, Willy Wonka style. Take the Oompa Loompas and have them build a better box.
If he walks out onto the E3 stage next year with a cane and then does a somersault, I'll lose it, man.
Just starts playing. Do, do, do.
Yep. That'd be great.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure Xbox animation. Or fucking, I don't know.
Animation? Oh, God. Xbox started their own animation division.
There's a lot of animation in games. I don't know, yeah.
But yes, I completely
What you'll
understand.
find will require Xbox Live Gold.
There it is.
I don't know. I was kind of proud of that.
I could tell.
It was pretty good. But yeah, so let's get into some of the news. I guess, like even this article, Steam Deck is Valve's answer to the Switch. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not. It has nothing to do with the Switch other than the form factor. You can say anything you want about how it is clearly inspired by the design of the Switch. Nobody can take that away from you. But Valve isn't trying to build a device. Valve isn't trying to build a console platform that they're trying to sell 100 million units. They're trying to build more of a Vita than a Switch. They're trying to build a companion device, which is what the Steam Deck is. And the Steam Deck, it might also be an alternative for people who maybe own a Switch and they're like, hey, I like the idea of being able to take this everywhere. I don't like the idea of getting into PC gaming, but maybe if it's in this handheld form factor, there's a lot of stuff I want to play on PC, and maybe that's something where they're like, hey, for $399, why don't I try and buy this thing? That's like the thing I already enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I managed to pre-order one. I'm actually pretty excited. I hope that they get like Destiny and stuff working on it before it comes out, because right now, like certain games like Destiny don't currently run. Like Destiny, Apex, and PUBG, I think, were like three of the biggest that will not work on the Steam Deck at launch because their anti-cheat does not run on their version of Linux.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's... I remember when there were rumors about this thing. What was it, last year? When were we talking about this? Yeah, last year.
Late last year, early this year.
Yeah, and I remember not being super interested in it because I thought it was going to be super expensive. I thought it was going to be like minimum $500 to get this thing, and they came out with the like base model, which the only difference between the models is the memory, correct?
Yeah,
and the type
storage,
of memory.
The storage, yeah. So for $399, it's 64 gigs of standard storage. For $530, you get a 256 NVMe SSD. And for $650, you get a 512 SSD and an anti-glare etched glass screen. I pre-ordered the 650 one.
I pre-ordered the $399 one.
I don't blame you.
There is expandable storage via
micro SD.
Micro SD, yeah, which is great.
And I like that it was just $5 to pre-order, and if you decide you don't want to get it, they just put it back in your Steam wallet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so they announced this thing. It looks a hell of a lot like a Switch. It's running on similar architecture to like what the new consoles are. It's a Zen 2 processor, 4 cores, 8 threads, ranging from 2.4 to 3.5 gigahertz. It's got 8 RDNA 2 cores. So basically this thing is essentially a more powerful, like, take the base PS4. It's more powerful than that.
So it's like in between a PS4 and a PS4 Pro?
Yes. It is not as powerful. So here's the thing. It is not as powerful in terms of raw, like, pushing graphics. Like, I think the PS4 Pro could do like 4.2 teraflops. Teraflops are not a good indicator, but the numbers here just work. In terms of like graphics capability, it is closer to the base PS4.
This has 2 teraflops, right?
1.6.
Oh, I thought it was 2. Damn it.
No, and the PS4 I think was like 1.4. Something like that. So it's closer, but it's running on a better architecture. It's running on the same architecture that the new Xbox and PlayStation are RDNA 2. Oh, okay. So even though it's 8 cores and it's a similar overall performance, it's still going to perform better than the APU in like a PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
So this is more powerful than the base consoles for last gen. It's also not striving to do anything crazy. It's got a 1280 by 800 screen. It's going to run most games probably in 720, which you should be able to get 60 frames at 720 on this device. And it's a 7-inch screen, so you're not going to notice.
Yeah.
Same size as the Switch. It's got 16 gigs of RAM, which is huge. That's
Yeah,
great.
that's a lot.
Especially considering, like, probably half of that they're going to try and dedicate to. Well, you probably won't even need half of that dedicated to the games. But that's a ton of RAM. Like, that's huge. It's got Bluetooth 5.0 support, so you can hook up controllers to it if you want to use your DualSense or your Xbox controller, anything like that. It's got dual band Wi-Fi. Everything you'd really expect. It is for what it is. It is well spec'd, and especially for the price, they got this right in at like the console pricing.
Yeah, which I was very
And
surprised about.
yeah, so like this, like really looks like a solid device. Like, this is something that I think could be a really good companion device. Instead of going out and buying like a big bulky laptop,
Mm-hmm.
to play games on, bring a Steam Deck,
Yeah,
play those, games
like
that you like and just kind of have a good time.
yeah, like if I had that all those times I came to visit you, like I'd be psyched.
Yeah.
That like that would have been great. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Some of the hands-on coverage I read about it. I've never actually used a Steam controller, and I know they have the touchpad on them.
Yeah.
Like I've heard that it's improved with the Steam Deck to the point
Yeah.
where like in some like non-intensive, probably like not RTS or anything type of games, it actually like works relatively well as a mouse cursor, which
Yeah.
is cool to
So
hear.
it has the joysticks at the top and everything. And just
Mm-hmm.
below them are two touchpads, similar to what the Steam controller had, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they said that they are improved from the Steam controller. I think they said something like 25% more accurate, or
Mm-hmm.
some number, maybe
Something like
more
that.
than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like this time they've got a better idea of kind of like how functional that stuff's going to be. And now it's more tailor made for a device rather than trying to apply it to a more like broad strokes. Like, instead of trying to replace the controllers you know and love, they're building it now with a device that can take full advantage of it.
Yeah, yeah, and I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think similar to like the Elite controllers, it also has paddles on the back
Yes,
for additional
it does
buttons.
have
Yeah,
four, mappable buttons on the back,
hmm
which is huge.
yeah,
I
that's
think that's
awesome.
great.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
it's a
I'm all
feature
for that.
everyone loves about the like high end controllers, so it's smart that they put that on there.
Yeah, I think it's incredible that they added that, because like that can also just be a lot easier. Instead of having to like take your thumb off of like look around in a shooter, you can map your face buttons to those back paddles and just
Hmm.
be like, okay, I want this to be jump, and this and that and that and whatever, and crouch, and then just do those things. Like, I
Yeah.
remember having that in Dark Souls, like playing with like a controller that had that, and I could just hit one of the paddles on the back to use an Estus flask. Instead of
Hmm.
having to take my thumb off the joystick and press B, it's just like boop, flask.
Yeah, yeah, and in terms of battery life, I think I saw like depending on what you're playing, between 2 to 8 hours,
Yeah,
which
depending
makes
on what you're
sense.
playing and how you're running it.
Yeah, right, right.
The really cool thing too is that the Steam Deck will let you install other storefronts. So, like, one of the examples people found, they said like you can install the Epic Game Store
Hmm.
on it. Anything you can do on Linux, you can do on the Steam Deck. And so you can go in, and if you're like a big Fortnite fan, you can install the Epic Game Store and install Fortnite
Yeah,
and
or
play Fortnite on the Steam Deck. Or you can install Windows on it. You can
yeah,
just go in and decide, okay, I'm going to flash Windows onto this thing and just use it like that.
yeah, or if you're like me, you install Discord and use your Bluetooth earbuds that you love, and not have to sit at your desk and lay on the couch and talk to your friends on Discord
Yep.
while you're playing Risk of Rain 2, just like chilling,
Yeah.
which I love.
And it has a dock that you can hook up to a TV.
Yes, which is not out. It hasn't been revealed yet. They're trying to get it out, I believe, in time for launch in December, but it will be sold separately.
Yeah.
But
And then Tim Sweeney was real happy.
Oh
He
yeah,
called it an amazing move by Valve. A handheld PC console hybrid running the SteamOS fork of Arch Linux, and it's an open platform where users are free to install software of their choosing, including Windows and other stores.
hmm
Tim Sweeney was a big fan.
yeah, and like just looking at the device itself, like it's an attractive device. Like
It's a little like industrial.
which I kind of dig
I
it.
feel like it's more like the Wii U tablet than a Switch. I think in terms of like
a little
the
bit.
basic look of it and the size of it, maybe.
Yeah, I think
But
it probably doesn't feel like a Fisher Price toy. That's the
no, no,
big
no, no, no.
difference.
And that's
Yeah.
not obviously I don't have hands on with it, but no,
Sure, sure,
I'm
sure.
just saying like when I look at it, I think more
Mm,
of that tablet, but
yeah,
it has
yeah.
more of the design language of the Switch, including like
Mm,
at the top, it's got like the heatsink vent and everything at the top, just like a Switch. It's built like a Switch, but it looks like it's still smaller than the Wii U tablet. I want to like stress that, but like that's just what it looked like initially to me when I saw it. I was just like, oh yeah, that looks like that. But like if the Switch was the Wii U tablet,
yeah, yeah. One kind of odd thing about it is that because they do have the touchpads on both sides, the D-pad and the face buttons are side by side with the joystick on either side, which I'm not sure if that will feel weird once I would get hands on
I
with it, but
imagine they tested that pretty
I, I,
rigorously.
I would think so. So I'm sure it won't be a problem. It's the only non Sony console to use R1 and R2 as the shoulder buttons. So Steam loves PlayStation. Steam hates Xbox.
You heard it here first, folks.
Deal with it. Um,
That's why Portal 2 never brought your achievements over from Xbox, fuckers.
but yeah, dude, like I'm actually incredibly excited for this. As someone who is not a huge PC gamer, like I obviously don't have like a 3080 or anything like that, and I don't really care to because I'm never playing super recent AAA games on PC. Generally, I will get them for console because that's
I feel
just
like
where I prefer.
the Steam Deck is built for someone like you, Ross,
It's
who
it's
just
literally
like
built for me.
they
Yes,
want to play PC games with their friends, but
yes,
they don't want to go through all the trouble of a PC.
yes, yes. This is the console for PC, and I
This is
love it.
if PC was a console, it would be a Steam
Yes,
Deck.
and I'm so
I
into it.
I really believe that this is going to be a very successful device.
I hope it is.
And that's based a lot on the fact that the Switch is incredibly popular right now.
Yeah.
I think it's the right form factor and it's the right style. But again, like I'm not looking at this and being like, well, why the fuck did I get a Switch OLED? Like I'm still happy to get a Switch OLED because realistically, and did you know that the price includes the case?
Oh no,
Yeah,
I
they
didn't know that.
include the case.
Oh nice. Oh yeah, look
Yeah.
at that. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
They're gonna give you a case with it. Like dude, this is a good deal. Like I just want to stress that. Like they even throw in the case. Like Valve really like kind of did their work on this one, and they were like, "Yo, this thing it can't be Steam machines again."
Yeah,
But this
yeah.
is like,
And I saw something like Gabe Newell saying it was painful to put it at this price point.
well, it was Yeah, it was painful to like find the price point that would work because
Yeah.
I think they knew they couldn't. They had to have something that came in at like a base like I'm
Mm,
sure if they could, they would have wanted to get it right at the Switch price point.
hmm
But like I think they wanted to stay under the PS5 and the Series X
mm,
because the device is not competing with them, and I think it's hard to justify that when they share a lot of games.
yeah.
Just be
Yeah.
like, hey, spend $500 on this, even though I'm going to spend $650 with the one I'm getting. But I digress.
Yeah.
I think it was smart that they had a $399 one. I think that's a great price point for this. That like
Yeah.
it's not
100%.
going to scare people away. Like someone again, like Ross, if
Yeah.
he's looking at that and he's looking at an upgrade for his PC, well, I can buy a 3060 or a 3070, or I could just buy a Steam Deck. Ross is going to buy the Steam Deck 10 out of 10 times because
Yeah.
he's like, so I can bring this places.
Yeah. It's like my whole, Steam library of hundreds of games that I don't play. I might play them more if
You
I
got to
don't have
get
to be
like a
sitting on my
1
desk.
terabyte as the SD
Oh
card.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Throw that on there.
Let's largest possible capacity SD
2 terabyte.
card.
2 terabyte. It's like 100 something, I think.
Oh, that's worth it.
Almost 200. But like, there's a Lexar. I was just reading. Somebody did an article the other day, like the best SD cards for your Switch.
Yeah. I'll definitely glad they're not going down the Sony handheld route of proprietary memory.
You can't. I mean, that's the thing. It's PC. It's
Yeah,
open platform.
I know,
You have
I
to
know.
keep it open. And
Yeah.
but then again, that's also very smart. That
Yeah.
they are embracing the platform. And even though they're using Linux, which isn't as like, I get why they would use Linux because you can definitely tailor this experience to that. I mean, like the PS3 ran on a like a version of Linux, I think, so like it's not the first time it's ever happened, but like it makes perfect sense. You can tailor your experience, and then you don't have to worry about running all that Windows stuff in the background, the stuff
Yeah.
that would like drain a device like this. And then you
Mm-hmm.
don't need to worry about, is Windows going to understand what these touchpads are? Doesn't matter. Our version of Linux does,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
why I'm
And
not going to put Windows on it.
yeah, no, it'll just slow it down. And like you said earlier, you can install pretty much anything on it. So I can get my Game Pass on my Steam Deck and play my Game Pass
I
games.
wonder if Game Pass will work on. I wonder if you can install Game Pass on Linux.
That's a good question, actually.
But you know what you could do?
Mm,
xCloud.
you could do XCloud.
You can do
Yeah,
xCloud from a browser.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Steam Deck is the best version of this thing that anyone has presented so far. Because a lot of companies have had, like, Alienware had their version and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
they're all like, yeah, we're trying to put the power of a PC into a portable device. And, it was going to be $800-900 and whatever. And then Valve is just like, we're just going to put out a device that, puts your library in your hands. That's the difference. Is everybody wants to put the power of a PC in your hands. And they're making these expensive portable devices without getting the point. And Valve is just like, we're going to put your library in your hands. It doesn't need to be the most powerful device. It just needs to run the games.
Yeah, that's all I want.
Just like, it doesn't need to be 1080p 60 frames. It doesn't need a mobile 3000 GPU in it. It just needs to do the job, and it needs to run them at 720 because it's a 7-inch screen.
Yeah, and like that's something that on the Switch is very helpful a lot of the time, because a lot of times Switch games obviously less powerful, but when you downsize it to that size screen, a lot of those kind of imperfections are unnoticeable because everything shrunk down and it actually looks better on the handheld.
I think it'll be funny though to see, because like I bet you like a lot of those third-party games like Doom and stuff like that, I imagine will run a lot better on the Steam Deck.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I wonder if that does change some Switch owners' minds, or like sways them of like, this is the companion device I need, because realistically, the Switch OLED being what it is, they're not going to get a ton of third-party support going forward, I don't think.
No. I think,
or at least in the AAA high-end sense.
Yeah, and I don't think, I feel like 95% of people who own a Switch really only care about the Nintendo games on it. So I don't think there will be a huge exodus over.
I'm not even saying an exodus, but I'm wondering if a lot of them are just like, hey, I'm just going to like play these games on Steam. Like The Witcher. Like, instead of buying The Witcher on my Switch, I could just get a Steam Deck and play there.
It's like the only two things I'll need moving forward: my Switch and my Steam Deck. And I got everything covered if I need to, with the exception of some first-party stuff.
You could remote play your PlayStation.
I could, and
your
then
Steam Deck.
Yeah, and Game Pass again and xCloud. You can play everything. So
yeah, it is an all-in-one device.
Yeah, this is the most excited I've been about a console in a long time. Like I was excited for the Switch, but I was skeptical of it until I really got it in my hands. Of course, I was excited for like PS5 and stuff, but that's kind of just PS5 and Xbox Series consoles are the next steps in kind of an iterative line. So there's not a ton exciting about it besides like the NVMe in a lot of ways. But like this feels like a game changer in a lot of ways. Because again, I have so many freaking games in my Steam library that a lot of times I just don't want to sit at my desk to play them. And like I had the NVIDIA Shield and tried that for a while, but that thing is garbage. So
it's also like the idea of this, of like, the same reason why I got something like this, is like, when I'm playing a game, I'm not always like in Destiny. There's, sometimes I'm loading into matches, or like, I want to just like kind of have something on the side while I'm streaming, just something I can kind of, look at every once in a while and kind of be like engaged when I'm not engaged over here.
You can play Raid Shadow Legends on this thing.
Yeah, I can. I probably won't. I'll probably just keep playing it on this. But it's
That's fair.
like,
That's fair.
because it'll have a constant internet connection.
True.
But it's just like that idea of having that something where it's like, okay, and maybe this isn't the best example with Steam because I'm already going to be playing something on Steam, but it's the idea of like, hey, I'm playing, Destiny, but then maybe I'm like, hey, I want to kind of play something else on the side while I wait for like these people to join my fire team,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, well, let me just, play Necromunda over here and just shoot some people.
Yeah, and it's like if there's some like new awesome like multiplayer PC game that we want to play, but we want to hang out in person, whoever drives to the other person's place, just bring the Steam Deck. You don't need to lug the tower around anymore.
You sit right here. Yep. I'm over here, and I'm like, Ross, you ready? And you're like, yeah.
Yes.
You're like, hell yeah, I am.
Yeah, like yes, like in terms of like in a more real sense, like the Steam Deck will allow me to play with my friends more because most of my friends have transitioned over mostly to PC stuff, which I totally get. And it's just I'm not that kind of a person to where I really enjoy kind of the ecosystem and kind of everything surrounding it. Like obviously I have a decent PC that plays a lot of what I want to play. And like I'm still interested in tinkering with it and upgrading it over time because it's fun.
But now you don't feel the need to do it all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You can wait until GPUs are readily available because you'll play on your Steam Deck until then, and then if there's something you really like, you'll just be like, okay, hey, I just got this new 3070. Let's plug this in and see what this really looks like.
Yeah, and more games are getting.
You might want to sit down and play more once you get that ultra wide monitor. You might want to be playing a little more on that PC.
It's true. But
I wish, man. Imagine if the console supported ultra wide instead of 4K. Sony was just like, yeah, we'll let you output to ultra wide, and I'll be like, yes, one monitor to rule them all.
Yeah, but
throw my TV away.
It's just so much stuff comes out, and I know like obviously you stream a lot and you play a lot of Destiny, but you also play other stuff with like Cypher and Uber and Uranium and stuff. And
even if Destiny doesn't run on this thing, that's maybe not the end of the world because then I'll play other stuff on it.
That's actually I need to write a letter to Gabe Newell to say please don't let it run Destiny.
No, Gabe, don't ruin the Gabe gear.
Yeah. Jerry, we just need to figure out something to play because the Final Fantasy 14, I still want to play a lot of it, but it's just with life recently that's such a time sink that I don't feel like I can put it in enough time to actually make it be productive in it. So that will come back, but like stuff like I don't know what you play to be honest. Most of the time.
I think he plays Risk of Rain.
Yeah. Like I would think it would be like
that's the kind of stuff we need to play on Tuesdays. It's just stuff we can like kind of pick up.
That was another conversation I wanted to have.
We should finish Divinity still.
Yes, we should still finish Divinity.
I think maybe we're done with Dark Alliance.
I want to be done with Dark Alliance.
We can be done with Dark Alliance.
Okay. Yeah, I think kind of the quick hit like not super long, like like something can last a couple
or even
weeks,
like even something like, and I'm not saying Destiny, but even something like that's 4 players.
Yeah,
like Borderlands. Play Borderlands on Tuesdays, or play like the I'm not saying we're gonna play the Division, but like the Division would be one of those games. If somebody was like, hey, I just want to fucking play this game and we can like level up and like eventually we could start running like cool shit every week, and it's like, okay, yeah, no, I'm down for that once a week.
Yeah. I think long term, it
would just have to be something with 4 players.
I think those are better fits rather than us thinking, oh, the very first thing we'll play for like game night with the boys is this 100-hour RPG.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
You know what else? Sorry, I don't want to. You gave me the perfect segue, but I want you to finish your thought.
I lost it.
Okay.
Are you moving on to something else?
Speaking of, okay. I don't remember what the segue was now.
Good.
Seemed like a good idea.
We
at the
both
time.
screwed each other
Speaking
over.
of seeming like a good idea at the time.
Yes.
Square Enix is talking about a potential Final Fantasy X-3.
I saw that. What?
Yeah, they are not ruling out a 10-3 because it seems like a good idea at the time. Yeah, they apparently have some story stuff for a potential
Yo, dude,
third game.
it's Final. I'm
There
telling
was
you, man.
already the novelization, a plot connecting it to Final Fantasy X3 was written. So there was like a Final Fantasy X 2.5 like novel.
Yeah,
And so they connected it to X3. Um
Chris, you want to know why this is coming out right now?
why?
Because I can tell you exactly
It's
why.
not coming out right now, but
No, why this news is coming out right now.
okay.
Do you want to know why?
Yes.
Final
I
Fantasy
need someone
VII
to explain it.
Remake. There's a portrait in Shinra where you see a character from Final Fantasy X. Now is the time to confirm the 7-10 shared universe, make it canon, bring laughing and laughter into Final Fantasy VII again.
So Final Fantasy X-3 ends with the Shinra Electric Power Company, and it literally just ends with a dun dun dun, and then it's just like, oh shit, and it just shows the ending of that game is the intro of Final Fantasy VII. And it's just playing the Shinra theme. And it's just like,
God.
they call themselves Avalanche, sir. And then it cuts to black.
They built Midgard on top of Xanarkand. That's why there's so many ghosties in 7 Remake.
Oh shit.
It's all the faiths. Oh man.
Shit.
Yeah, it's I love Final Fantasy. I know
think they should just keep going crazy. Why not make a 10-3?
Yeah,
Why
Who
not, after
cares?
all this time, make another Final Fantasy X game?
Honestly, out of all of the single player Final Fantasy games, 10 is probably the second most popular behind 7. So
yeah, I mean, well, 10 also came out like that was that first like next generation
yeah.
Final Fantasy.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
100%.
like
Yeah.
that game was huge.
Yeah. So
People bought PS2s for that game.
That was my first.
And that was
JRPG.
early enough that it counted, that they sold for a whole generation.
Yeah, and that was
10 was so good, that's why people didn't like 12 at first.
Yeah, that was my first JRPG I actually played to completion. So I have a really soft spot.
I couldn't beat Sin.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't get I only had Bahamut who could do more than max damage. I didn't get the damage break things for the other people. So I couldn't do enough damage to him, so I couldn't beat Sin.
Oh, gotcha.
And then like my save was stuck there, so I wasn't going to start over.
Jerry says we need a 12 too. Dude,
I think we're good.
I played 12 a year or two ago, and 12 is super good. Like when it first came out, I didn't like the combat, but then after that, like years later, when Xenoblade Chronicles came out and it had similar combat, I was like, oh, this is fun. Maybe I should go back to 12. And then I did it with Zodiac Age, and 12 is a great game. 12 is super good.
I believe it. I think maybe they should just leave 12 alone, though. 12 is well regarded now. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten the oh my god,
it's got a second chance at life.
It's got the Wind Waker treatment of being far more loved over time. But
Wind Waker was a good game.
Yeah.
I played Wind Waker. That's my second most played Zelda game after Breath of the Wild.
Look at that.
And then it's either Oracle of Ages, the Game Boy Color one.
I played those.
Or Spirit Tracks.
I think for me it goes.
I remember I only bought Spirit Tracks because of the robot on the cover, and I was like, "Oh, this is that Wind Waker style, and there's a robot." I was like, "Full Metal Alchemist, let's go!" And then it was Zelda, and I was like, "This is fucking weird." And then later in life would realize that Spirit Tracks is very disliked, and I was just like, "But why?"
Yeah, I think in terms of time put in for me, I think it's Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, and then Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons. I can't remember which one I actually had, but
Ages was. I remember I had Ages because I was like the purple one or blue or whatever.
Yeah, that was at a time where like I went over to my friend's house and he had one and I had the other, and we would just like sit and play them. Going back to Jerry in the chat, Oracle of Ages Seasons is the best Zelda. I would love a full-on remake of that, like they did with Link's Awakening.
I would be down for that. I would be more interested in that than I am for Link's Awakening.
Yeah. Also, Jerry, Final Fantasy 4 is your favorite, then 12, then 10. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Jerry, I beat 4. 4 was great. 4 has, I think, one of my favorite like total casts of characters, including like the party members who didn't get as much development. Like I like all of them. So 4 is top tier. 4 is very good. So
I
yeah.
can't wait for info on 7 Remake Part 2.
I know. I just want to know where the hell they're taking it.
I gotta know.
We had a 2-hour spoiler cast where
I feel like we almost need to like after we finish like the intermission, we have to like do it again.
yeah. Well, it's like
we gotta go back. Spoiler cast part 2. It just never ends.
Yeah. I feel like the spoiler cast was 2 hours, and we spent like 10 minutes of that talking about the game, and the rest of it was just theory crafting.
But that was also relating it to the game, though.
It's true.
It was good. It was quality.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the best pieces of content we ever put out.
Yeah. Jerry, I'm not going to replay Final Fantasy IV when they release it.
I'm going to play it for the first time when they do the Pixel remaster, but I don't know if I'm going to buy it for the prices they're asking for.
Yeah, I still have other Final Fantasy games that I haven't played that I want to kind of knock off the list. So I'm trying to decide for the next one whether I play 15 or whether 15. I play, I think 8. Those
play
were
15.
The 2.
You're really killing me because like you're talking about the other 2 of my top 3.
Yeah.
15 is so good. Get the fuck out of here, Jerry. 15 is so good.
This is great. We have both of the opinions on 15 here. You, Chris, and Jerry in chat.
15 is so good. It gets worse as the game goes on because it gets linear. Like the whole first half of the game is like all open world, and you're just like a couple of bros on a road trip, and it's really fun. And the combat in that game is so satisfying, and I love it. I love the combat in 15, and I can spend hours just running around fighting. The problem is eventually you get on a train, and it's a linear train through the rest of the story. And some of the stuff that happens is really cool, and some of the stuff that happens so that other stuff can happen that's actually cool.
It's literally, there's only 2 opinions on the game.
There is only 2 opinions. There is no middle. But I like the game. I like the car. I like the combat. The characters are mostly fine. There are parts where I'm a little annoyed by them, but for the most part, I think they're all really good. Like it's Final Fantasy 15 is one of those games where like you have to decide very early on that you are going to embrace the feeling of that game, because that game feels like a game that was in development hell. But there are so many aspects of it that feel. Noctis doesn't throw a hissy fit through 95%. I wouldn't say a hissy fit.
He would leave one ass off of bed.
Noctis is emotional. But, like, who wouldn't be when your whole life was destroyed?
Fun fact, the voice actor who did Prompto's voice acting is on the Critical Role 8-episode miniseries right now, playing a character.
Nice.
That dude is a cool-looking dude. He has some tattoo sleeves. Got me thinking.
But like the thing is like when the game pays off, when it hits those like high moments where you get like some actual payoff, like I didn't like Prompto for a good chunk of the game. And then there was like this little development between him and Noctis, and they were just kind of sitting on this roof talking. And I came away from that. I was like, I really like Prompto. Holy shit. I really like Prompto. Oh my God. And then, like, it was the idea that you could be really, like, under-leveled and just be like, I'm going to go fight this really powerful monster, and I'll kill it eventually. And so I spend 2 hours fighting this enemy I should not be fighting right now because
that sounds like you. It sounds like you. Yep.
But, like, there are parts of that game, like that stupid fucking dungeon that I hate. Like, Final Fantasy 15... It is kind of like the 2 worlds of the Final Fantasy games.
That is a damning endorsement for many people.
No, but like the gameplay is so much better than 2 worlds. Like that's the thing. The gameplay is just so good. Like it's a scale. There's 2 worlds, but then when you put it in a Final Fantasy scale, it immediately shoots up because now you're in Final Fantasy. So you're talking about a different franchise, and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah.
I'm excited for 16.
I love Final Fantasy 15. I unapologetically love that game.
On your top 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, top 3 Final
I think
Fantasies.
when I finished it, I said I think it passed 8.
Oh, wow. Gotcha. And you love
I
8.
think that's my second favorite of all time is 15.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing. I was like, my 3 favorites, 7 and 8 add up to 15.
Mm-hmm.
And like nothing was going to pass 7. But like,
Sure.
I really, like there are moments in Final Fantasy 15 that like really got to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when that game hits, it hits.
Yeah.
And you know, it's so much fun though. Like when you get into a groove, it feels so good. And like the moments when like you get the summons and you hear like the intense music and like the fucking summon just like picks you up because he's like, I'm not gonna kill you, and then he's just like, I'm gonna kill everything else though. And just everything dies. And then you're just standing there like, you know, fucking lightning's all around you, and you're just like, oh shit.
Oh, lightning's in the game. Okay, I'm in.
Like Shiva uses her fucking thing, and like afterward, he's like shivering for a minute because it's still ice on the ground, and he's just like, "Oh god damn it!"
But does Shiva turn into a motorcycle?
No.
Oh, well then, no deal. Oh man.
There's stuff I want to talk about, but I don't want to spoil it for you because I really want you to play it. But like, there's a bunch of like really cool reveals that happen, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" That when they happen, I was just like, holy shit, dude, like there's this fucking, oh my god, like there's this fucking track in the game that plays when you fight, like, you're fighting like one of the big bads, and just like this huge like orchestral swell comes on, and like people chanting in Latin, and it's just like, you hear it, you're just like flying around surrounded by like all the fucking divine weapons, and you're just like a fucking monster out there. It's so good. You're just like floating in the air, and it's just like hear like a fucking orchestral guitar riff, and you're just like throwing shit at people. It's so good. I love Final Fantasy 15. I want to play it so bad now.
I can play it on my Steam Deck.
It's like, dude, like it's weird because it's got like this almost like Monster Hunter quality to it, and like I like it so much more than Monster Hunter. Like if Square Enix made a Monster Hunter game based on Final Fantasy 15, I would play the shit out of it.
Yeah,
that's basically what they did. It has multiplayer. It has online multiplayer.
Yeah, I've started 15 like 3 or 4 times and put like between like 4 and like 10 hours in every single time, but I think the open world really kills the pacing for me at the beginning because I don't enjoy open world games a ton, and I play Final Fantasy games a lot for the story.
The pacing is never good in this game.
Yeah,
the pacing is never good.
Good to know.
Because it's either like you're either doing a bunch of stuff and ignoring the story, or it's all story all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that the game suffers from, is that it's basically 2 games. There's the really good open world portion of the game where they were kind of like, I think they kind of designed it to be like the opposite of Final Fantasy 13, where like, remember that ended more open and everybody liked it more towards the end. Mm-hmm. So they front loaded all the open and fun. And then they were like, okay, and then we're going to put you on the straight line towards the end. And the thing is your value, your mileage will vary based on how invested you get in the game. But like, I did everything. Like my first playthrough in that game was like 95 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like, I got the platinum. I killed the fucking giant turtle.
Jerry, how do you feel about Final Fantasy 13, Jerry? Because now I'm curious. Because I really like 13 and 13 too. I've not played Lightning Returns.
I think history has also come around on that. I feel like history has come around again to being like, Final Fantasy is just really good.
Yeah, I think for the most part.
There was an era where people were like, but like...
Yeah, like 13 still has its problems, and I still like it. 13 is one of your favorites. 13.2 is also very good. Yeah, Lightning Returns is trash. Yeah, I liked... The main reason why I didn't like 13.2 was because you only had the 2 party members the whole time, and you filled the third one with like a Pokemon style whatever monsters you catch. So it was like, I want more characters. And even though like the writing in 13, and I won't even say the writing a lot of the time, the voice direction in 2013 in Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, the voice direction in 2013, it was not a great year.
It was not great. The voice direction was like not very good, and some of the characters could have been written better. I've never disliked the Troy Baker character more than Snow.
Yeah, Snow really kind of sucks.
Yeah, and then and Hope. Hope was pretty bad, but he was one of my like go tos in my party because he just worked really well for what I was running. But um, pick a party member specific for the time period, like Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, Jerry, I think that could have worked. I think that could have worked too, and they did it a little bit. I remember you did get to play with like longer hair, crazy snow. I think for like a level, but they should have leaned into that more. Um, but but Caius was kind of a cool villain, and he's voiced by Liam O'Brien from Critical Role, so that's something. He's very purple. Anyway, that's Final Fantasy talk.
That's your ringing endorsement. He's very purple.
He is very purple. What else do we have?
Warframe is getting crossplay and cross save.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think that's really
great.
cool that is. Warframe feels like kind of one of those games that really needs that, not in like a Warframe is in trouble kind of way, but just like Warframe would be better if everyone could play together.
Yeah, and I think especially for live service games like Warframe and Destiny, I think having
Destiny gets it next season. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think having cross save and cross progression is so critical. I think it's huge. So yeah,
the other cool thing too is they're adding a bunch of new like story stuff. So they're adding a new like expansion. That where the hell was it? I'm trying to find the part in here where they talk about that.
Did they announce Witcher 3 is getting
DLC?
DLC?
It's also coming to mobile.
Oh, it's coming to mobile. I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
part.
It's coming to mobile. Yeah.
Weird. But like again makes sense.
The New War. So their next major update. It's free. It's called the New War. And the cool thing is they showed like gameplay and stuff, but you won't just be playing as like your Tenno. You're actually going to play as characters from like enemy factions during this campaign.
Oh, that's cool.
So it sounds really cool. Like I've reinstalled Warframe.
It's gone so well every other time. Why wouldn't it this time?
Because now you can play on your console and I can play on my PC.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Also, not sure if you were done with that story. Are you done with it? Okay. Witcher 3 is getting DLC.
Yes.
Based on the Netflix show.
Yep.
So who knows? It's probably just going to be outfits, but who knows? It's coming with the next gen update later this year. So it gives me another excuse to play The Witcher 3 again. I'm psyched. Oh, man. Witcher 3 was a... I'll see you, Jerry. Witcher 3 was our game of the generation. So it's good.
Last but not least, I mean, on the topic of The Witcher, you know,
Sure.
The Witcher has a show.
I'm very excited for season 2. I like season 1 a lot.
The Witcher's also a video game. What if Netflix just did both?
Interesting you should say that.
Netflix is adding games to their service at no additional cost within the next year.
Wonder what that's going to look like.
Apparently, it is going to be mostly like smaller games, like mobile type games.
That makes sense for the audience. Yeah.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually started to try and expand and like, you know, what if you could play The Witcher 3 on Netflix?
Yeah.
Be a great tie-in for their show.
It would be a great tie-in for a lot of stuff. Like there's a Stranger Things game that could tie in there.
Hey, what if you could watch our show and play this game? What if you could play them picture in picture?
Dude, I'd be pretty down for that, not gonna lie.
We put a stream in your stream so you can game while you watch. Game and watch.
I was just gonna say game and watch. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. That's why we're brothers.
But yeah, that's like that's kind of a like makes sense for everyone involved there because like nobody has a bigger streaming audience than Netflix. It makes sense to put games in front of that audience, and especially if you're not charging more for it, that's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's everything I pulled. I don't know if you have anything you wanted to go over or touch on.
No, we're still like in a weird kind of like, I would say we're kind of in a gaming drought right now. Not a ton of huge stuff coming out recently. Again, I kind of talked about it last week. Like I have all of these small games I want to play, like Overboard that murder mystery game I talked to you about briefly last week, where you play as the murderer trying to get away. I want to play like Chris Tales. I want to play Noja. Like, I have all these games I want to play. I just haven't had the energy to do it. So yeah, there's nothing really news wise that caught my eye that I've been following. Is there a is there an there's an EA showcase coming up, isn't there?
Tomorrow. Well, as of this going up today.
Yeah.
You want to watch
Okay,
it?
gotcha. What time is it at?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Yeah, because I might be on the road to move my stand-up desk.
Oh, yeah.
Just depending on where I'm at.
I want to say it's around like 5 o'clock, maybe. No, 10 a.m. So 1 o'clock.
Oh no, I'm gonna be in the office.
All right.
But yeah, 40 minutes. There's not gonna be skate. Skate people said skate's getting skated. Skate's getting worked on.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna be there.
No skate, no Star Wars, no Mass Effect, no Dragon Age, no show.
Unravel 3, Bejeweled 16, and Zuma Revenge 2.
DLC, competitive DLC for It Takes Two.
Yep.
Competitive multiplayer.
Yep. It's weird.
Everybody thinks it's going to be Dead Space. It's not going to be Dead Space. Okay.
Yeah.
They're going to actually do they're going to remake the remake of Syndicate, but as like
cool.
a mobile game.
Oh, well, that's cool. Sweet.
Yeah. So they're going to remake a remake into a mobile game.
Cool.
From EA Motive.
Cool. And they will bring back their were they Dance Central?
No, that's Ubisoft.
No, Ubisoft is Just Dance.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. No, Dance Central was Harmonix.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was gonna say they're just gonna.
I don't think EA published that.
I don't think they did either.
Because that was exclusive to Xbox.
I just assumed.
If anything, Microsoft.
Yeah, I just assumed it was them because it's Harmonix publisher. Xbox published it from 2011 to 2014. So yeah, for a while there. But yeah, I don't have anything really. Again, kind of the next week or so. Oh, I'm going to tell you now. I am on call next week.
I will work on that.
Yeah. So the next week is really going to be me unpacking my life into my new house and getting my setup just right and building this desk.
Yes.
The desk I currently have is being graduated to go to the basement next to the laundry to fold clothes on.
Ooh.
So repurpose.
Yeah. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Indeed. R cubed.
Recycling.
Well, that's been this week's episode.
Were you about to say that's? Sounded like you were going to say something weird, but I don't know.
I think my words were, that's going to be this week's episode's podcast.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, 100%.
Okay, no, I'm just making sure.
No,
I wanted to know I heard you right.
Nope, you did. Please take us out. Help.
I don't know. Do I save him? I don't know. Thank you guys so much. I'm trying to start the... Thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you coming back every week to the HalfGen podcast. I'm Chris. He's Ross. And we will see you... I'll see you on the next one. He'll see you on the one after that. Bye-bye.
See ya.